The stranger at the door. The rain came down in sheets that Thursday evening, drumming against the roof of Marcus Weber's small blue house like 1,000 tiny fingers. Marcus stood at the kitchen sink, washing dishes by hand because the dishwasher had broken 2 months ago and there was never enough money to fix it. His daughter, 7-year-old Emma, sat at the table behind him, coloring in her favorite book, the one with the princesses and castles. "Daddy, can we have hot chocolate?" Emma asked, not looking up from her drawing. Marcus smiled, even though his back ached from his double shift at the warehouse. "Sure, sweetheart, let me finish these dishes first." The house was small but clean. Marcus made sure of that. After Emma's mother left 3 years ago, he had learned to keep things organized, keep things running. It wasn't easy. There were nights when he lay awake, wondering how he would pay the electric bill or buy Emma new shoes when she outgrew her current pair. But he managed. He always managed, because that's what fathers do. The knock at the door came just as Marcus was drying the last plate. It was unusual. They didn't get visitors. Marcus knew his neighbors well enough to wave hello, but nobody ever stopped by, especially not in weather like this. "Stay here, Emma," Marcus said, setting down the dish towel. He walked through the small living room, past the worn couch and the television that only got basic channels, and opened the front door. A young woman stood on his porch, soaked to the bone. Her long blonde hair clung to her face and shoulders. She wore a light blue tank top and jeans, completely inappropriate for the storm. She was shivering, her arms wrapped around herself, and her eyes held a desperate, frightened look. "Please," she said, her voice barely audible over the rain. "I need help." Marcus hesitated. Every instinct told him to be careful. You heard stories. But looking at her, at the way she trembled, at the genuine fear in her eyes, he couldn't just close the door. "What happened?" he asked. "My car broke down about a mile from here," she said, her teeth chattering. "My phone's dead. I walked until I saw your light. I just need to get warm and maybe call someone. Please." Marcus glanced back at Emma, who had gotten up from the table and was peeking around the corner, curious. "Daddy," Emma said softly. He looked back at the young woman. She couldn't have been more than 25. Someone's daughter. Maybe someone's sister. "All right," Marcus said, stepping aside. "Come in." The woman stepped over the threshold, dripping water onto the worn welcome mat. Thank you so much." "Emma, can you get a towel from the bathroom?" Marcus called. Emma nodded and scurried down the hallway. "I'm Marcus," he said. "That's my daughter, Emma." "Sarah," the woman replied. "I'm Sarah." Emma returned with a faded blue towel, and Sarah wrapped it around her shoulders gratefully. Marcus could see her taking in the small house, the modest furniture, the patches on the wall where he'd had to repair holes himself, the stack of bills on the kitchen counter that he hadn't gotten around to hiding. "You can use my phone," Marcus offered, pulling his old flip phone from his pocket. "It's not fancy, but it works." Sarah took it with shaking hands. She dialed a number and waited. After a moment, she left a voicemail, her voice quivering. "Dad, it's me. I'm okay. I'm at..." She looked at Marcus questioningly. 42 Maple Street, he provided. 42 Maple Street. "Please come get me. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." She ended the call and handed the phone back to Marcus. "Your father?" Marcus asked gently. Sarah nodded, tears mixing with the rainwater on her cheeks. "We had a fight. A bad one. I said terrible things and I drove away. I wanted to prove I could make it on my own, that I didn't need his money or his help. And then my car died, and my phone died, and..." Her voice broke. "It's okay," Marcus said softly. "Sit down. You're safe here." Sarah sat on the edge of the couch, still wrapped in the towel. Emma approached slowly, holding her stuffed puppy. "Are you okay?" Emma asked, her voice small and concerned. Sarah looked at the little girl and managed a weak smile. "I am now. Thank you. Do you want hot chocolate?" Emma offered. Daddy was going to make some. Despite everything, Sarah laughed, a real, genuine laugh. "I would love hot chocolate." Marcus went to the kitchen and heated milk in a pot on the stove, mixing in cocoa powder and a little sugar, the cheap kind from the dollar store, but it did the job. He poured 3 cups and brought them to the living room. They sat together, drinking the hot chocolate. Emma told Sarah about her drawings in her favorite books. Sarah listened with genuine interest, asking questions, laughing at Emma's stories about school. Marcus watched them, something warm settling in his chest despite the awkwardness of the situation. "You're a good father," Sarah said quietly, when Emma had gone to get her coloring book to show Sarah her latest masterpiece. Marcus shrugged, uncomfortable with the compliment. I do my best. No, Sarah insisted. You opened your door to a complete stranger in the middle of a storm. You gave up your towel, your phone, your hot chocolate. Emma is happy and kind and safe. That doesn't just happen. That takes work. That takes love. Marcus felt his throat tighten. We don't have much, but what we have, we share. About 45 minutes later, headlights swept across the living room window. A car pulled up outside, not just any car, but a sleek black Mercedes. Marcus felt his stomach drop slightly. Sarah stood, handing the towel back to Marcus. That's my father. The man who came to the door was tall, well-dressed despite the late hour, with graying hair and sharp eyes that immediately assessed everything. But those eyes softened when he saw Sarah. Sarah, he breathed, relief flooding his face. Dad, Sarah said, and then she was in his arms, both of them holding each other tight. After a moment, Sarah's father turned to Marcus, extending his hand. Richard Montgomery, thank you for taking care of my daughter. Marcus shook his hand, noting the expensive watch, the tailored suit. Marcus Weber, anyone would have done the same. No, Richard said firmly. Not everyone would have. You let a stranger into your home, around your daughter. That takes trust. That takes character. He paused, glancing around the modest house. I'd like to repay your kindness. That's not necessary, Marcus said quickly. Please, Richard insisted. Let me at least cover your time, your hospitality. Really? Daddy, Emma interrupted, tugging on his sleeve. Can Sarah visit again? Sarah knelt down to Emma's level. I would like that very much. Richard pulled out his wallet, but Marcus held up his hand. Keep your money, but if you really want to repay me. He hesitated, then glanced at Emma. There's a warehouse looking for a logistics manager. I've been there 5 years, but I don't have the degree for the promotion. If you know anyone who might consider experience over credentials. Richard Montgomery smiled slowly. I own Montgomery Logistics. We have 3 warehouses in this city. He pulled out a business card. Come by my office Monday morning. 9 o'clock. Bring your resume. Marcus took the card with shaking hands, barely able to believe what he was hearing. As Sarah and her father left, Sarah turned back. One more time. Thank you, Marcus, for seeing me as just a person who needed help, not anything else. After they were gone, Marcus closed the door and leaned against it, the business card still in his hand. Emma wrapped her arms around his waist. Was that a good thing, Daddy? She asked. Marcus picked her up, holding her close, and finally let himself smile, really smile, for the first time in months. Yeah, sweetheart, he said softly. That was a very good thing. Outside, the rain had finally stopped, and through the clouds, the first stars were beginning to appear.